So hello my friends, Devon Lennox here, PhotographyPX. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys in one simple tool how to change the color of a backdrop in Adobe Photoshop. Alright, so here we are in Adobe Photoshop. Let's get started. So photo's already loaded up. This is the photo that we're going to be working on today. I will show you guys the before and after. This is actually the after. Here's the before. Okay. This was just a really quick way, so you guys will maybe notice that there's some discoloration going on in the hair right here. It's not a perfect selection by any means, but it's pretty decent. Definitely something you'd have to fix. But suffice to say, I'm going to show you guys how to do this in literally one simple step. So first and foremost, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to right click on our background and duplicate our background layer. So that's first and foremost there. Next thing, let me also check something. Okay, let's go back in here. So once you do that, the next thing we're gonna want to do, I just did this really quickly with using the magic wand tool, but you're gonna have to select the background using some kind of tool, whether it be the magic wand tool or the quick selection tool. There's a multitude of ways to select a certain element of the photo, but suffice to say I use the magic wand tool just because it's super easy. It doesn't give you the best results, but it's for the tutorial's sake, it makes the most sense. So in the beginning, if you guys are using this technique, just use the magic wand tool, and I'll show you some more in-depth ways to do selections in Adobe Photoshop to get better results, especially with the hair right there. There's better ways to get that. But what you're going to do is you're going to select the background layer, and then you're going to hit Shift to basically add an extra section to the selection. Because if you just hit just the one area alone with the magic wand tool, it basically just changes the selection and it doesn't allow you to select multiple areas at once. So what you're going to do is hit the Shift and you're going to select all the areas that the magic wand tool has overlooked, which is going to be quite a few. So making sure that we get in between the legs here, and then we get this side of backdrop and then this side of the backdrop. All right, so now that we have that, we're going to go up here to the top menu. We're going to hit Select and Mask. Suffice it to say, the easiest way to do this, by default, it should be on Overlay, but if it's not on Overlay, make sure it's set to Overlay, and then set the opacity to 50%. To make it easier on ourselves, we're going to set the radius down here on Edge Detection to 10 pixels, so that basically what it's going to do, it's going to start detecting the edges of the selection that you have, so our model, the areas that I'm tracing, those are all the edges that it will be looking at. And then we're going to go down into global refinements, and we're going to change the feather to roughly about 1.5 to 3 pixels. And we'll mess around with the smooth a little bit as well. We'll maybe set the smooth to like 5. And then what you're going to do is hit OK. Okay. And then that's going to select our model. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down here into adjustments, and we're going to go into curves. That's going to open up a new curves layer right up here for that background. And now we can just tap this, and we're, instead of setting it to RGB, we're going to go down to red, green, or blue. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab the middle of the curves, and then you're going to adjust it up or down until you get the desired color that you want. So if you wanted like a really bright pink, that's a little bit over the top. We'll do like, I don't know, let's go around in greens and see what we can get here. Yeah, like maybe something like that. Let's see what we can do in the blues. Yeah, like do like light blue. And then what you can do is you can play around with the curves. If you go around here, it's going to increase the luminosity, basically, the brightness. This is going to increase the shadows. So it'll affect the shadows over on this side of the photo, on the left-hand side of the photo. It'll affect the shadows over there, so you can have a custom color on that side, and then you can have like maybe a greenish color on this side, and then like in the highlights, you can change it to another color. But that's essentially what you do. So I'll show you guys the before and after here. Let's go back over to our layers panel, and we will group these. And before, after, before, after. Okay. See, now the main thing, like I was saying before, it's not perfect. There's still some purple fringing going on here and then in between right here, there are better ways to select, especially when it comes to hair. There are definitely better ways to actually do selections of hair. Hair's a very complicated thing for Photoshop to actually be able to do edge detection and edge recognition on. So there's other techniques to get a better selection. But suffice it to say, if we haven't covered those yet, we will cover some of those at a later video. But suffice it to say, what you would do to fix this until we actually put out that specific video, you go over here into your layer mask, and then you would use B to get your brush tool, and essentially what you'd be doing is basically painting in these areas right here. I have to make it very small, but you'd be basically painting in those areas and then just painting out, painting out, painting out, and then painting here. Easier said than done though. Especially when it comes to the hair, definitely easier said than done. But yes, that's essentially what you'd be doing, is just painting out those areas. Definitely easier said than done. I would just say wait for the future tutorial when we do some edge selection. That is a very complicated tutorial, so I'm going to kind of wait on that one before I show you guys how to do that. It's going to be kind of an in-depth tutorial on how to do that. But yes, that is how you change colors of backdrops with one tool in Adobe Photoshop. I hope this video was valuable for you. I hope this technique added another tool to your quiver. So as you're out there editing photos and you're battling the fight, and you have one more tool on how to tackle the situation. If you haven't considered subscribing, please consider doing so. If you're new here, especially, definitely consider subscribing. We got some great content coming up soon. Definitely hit us up with a like and a comment in the description down below. If you thought I missed anything, or you have any specific comments or questions about this video, I'd love to answer those in the description down below. As always, my friends, I'm Devon Lennox, your host at PhotographyPX. We'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace out.